Well, Attorney General Adam Laxalt finally appeared before the legislature's money committees this week, but not to talk about dollars. Laxalt was there to answer questions about his alleged attempts to influence Gaming Control Board Chairman A.G. Burnett to file a friend of the court brief in a case involving the Las Vegas Sands. Assemblywoman Maggie Carlton has introduced a bill, AB 513, that would allow the Gaming Control Board to hire its own lawyers for gaming matters so it wouldn't have to rely on the Attorney General's office. She sat down with us to talk about that bill. Did that hearing reinforce your reasons for introducing that bill?
Yes, it did. And it answered a lot of questions. You know, you can read a transcript and you can listen to the audio, but until you can actually ask those questions. And I think it affirmed pretty much what people thought. There was a problem with that relationship. If your client is tape recording a conversation, there's a special relationship between an attorney and a client, and that relationship does not seem to be working well.
Senator Ford, in his comments at that hearing, said after almost all the testimony had been heard that there are two reasonable interpretations of this. One, Adam Laxalt's, that he was doing nothing wrong and that he was representing the Gaming Control Board, and the other interpretation that he was not representing the Gaming Control Board, representing someone else and lobbying the Gaming Control Board to do something that the chairman was reluctant to do. Do you see it that way?
I don't think I could go either way. I think the fact that one of the DAGs gave the advice that they shouldn't be getting involved, and then the person who supervises that DAG, the boss as it was put in the committee hearing last night, went ahead and kept on discussing it and going through it in numerous iterations, trying to come at it 3 and 4 different ways in that transcript to try to get that point across. For them to go against what their own DAG thought was a bit odd, and the immediacy of having to have that meeting because of the time crunch of the case being in front of the Supreme Court. Yeah. When you look at the chronology of this thing and you put all those pieces together, it just doesn't smell right.
When you look at this transcript, is it apparent to you, Mr. Laxalt said that he was simply laying out the options, but other people said no. I read this transcript and it appears to me that there was an attempt to get the chairman to come to a separate conclusion, one that he had come down on the opposite side of before. And there was an attempt to persuade rather than simply laying out the options.
Persuade's a good word. Convince. Try to get them to just, you know, look at it from that different perspective. I think Mr. Burnett handled it well.
Carlton's bill is exempt from the legislative deadlines and is awaiting action in the Assembly.